Cherokee Nation citizen Miss Meda Nix likes to begin her class with a song. Miss Meda, as she's known, has taught at Cherokee Nation's language immersion school in Tahlequah, Oklahoma for nearly 10 years.
The singing starts our day. It sets the tone for the day. And I've always done it. That's just something I've done in my class.
Miss Meda grew up in Jay, Oklahoma, and learned the language from her mother, sisters, and brothers, who were all fluent speakers.
We were around it so much, so once I actually started learning the language, it was kind of like deja vu. It was there. It just needed some help coming out.
The school went virtual when the pandemic hit, and more than 400 students were sent home with a laptop and a Wi-Fi hotspot to access the internet, which can be difficult in rural Oklahoma. It took a toll on students and teachers. Miss Meda is glad to be back in the classroom this fall, speaking Cherokee. She feels even better because of the mask mandate Cherokee Nation put in place at their two schools, Immersion School and nearby Sequoia School. It's something that protects her, a first language speaker, the students, and the larger community.
But with the variant, which we started to see in the summer, we said we got to go back.
After listening to his leadership team, doctors and scientists, Cherokee Nation's Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. said the decision to mandate masks was pretty simple.
What they told me was we have to protect our people with masks and we have to encourage vaccines. Very simple from my standpoint, and I said let's do it. It's worked here in our building. I think Cherokee Nation government buildings have been the safest place in any community in this region because we've adhered pretty strictly to this.
Oklahoma public schools had not been able to mandate masks, despite a huge surge in COVID cases that occurred in late summer, just as school was about to start up. That's because last spring, Oklahoma's Governor Kevin Stitt signed an executive order banning mask mandates, something Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. doesn't understand.
A lot of the critics of masks in school seem to be saying we want our schools back. We don't want to be like we were a year ago and have to go virtual. Well, if you want that, the surest way to do it is to mask up and make it a requirement for everybody.
But the governor's ban on mask mandates doesn't apply to the Cherokee Nation. The reason comes down to one word: sovereignty.
Because we were here before the United States was founded or before a single state was established, including the state of Oklahoma. Our presence in the state presents opportunities for us to do things differently, and COVID has presented many opportunities to do things differently, not the least of which is a mask mandate, even though there was a state law that said that no school could do it. Didn't apply to us. We operate our own schools.
Masks aren't the only tool Cherokee Nation is using to stop the spread of the virus. Testing at this school is just one part of the puzzle to keep people safe. Both Sequoia and Immersion schools test their students 2 times a week for COVID-19. And vaccines are mandatory for students who are eligible for them if they want to participate in after-school sports.
Receive the swab test, then the 15-minute timer starts.
Immersion School Principal Jeromie Hammer says the school staff has the testing routine down, like a well-choreographed dance.
So there's 2 in that vehicle? Yeah, 2 in that vehicle.
Okay. When parents go through this testing line and they know their kid is masked up and they go into the classroom and we do all these things to keep them safe, a peace of mind is what you feel over the school. And parents drop their kids off with the peace of mind, knowing that we've done everything in turn to protect them.
Parent Tschantre Dorsett does feel peace of mind when she drops her son Cooper off at school.
Cherokee Nation from the beginning had a very well thought out plan. At this particular institution, you have the elders and the oldest members of the tribe, probably the most concentration of fluent speakers, and our future generations that will hold our traditions and our language. So great care was taken.
Testing and mask mandates have paid off. There have only been 11 positive cases since the beginning of the school year, and Cherokee Nation has a 65% vaccination rate. By comparison, some Oklahoma schools had to shut down because of outbreaks of the virus. Cherokee Nation even supplied masks to nearby public schools who put mask mandates in place despite the state ban.
Pitter patter, these little feet going up and down the hall. It just makes you feel good.
And for Miss Meda, she's happy to do whatever it takes to get kids back in school.
I missed the kids, and I said we needed them just like they needed us. And I really appreciate, our chief helping us.
Cherokee Nation doesn't know when they're going to drop the mask mandate, but for now, it's one of the tools they can use to keep elders, first language speakers, and their future generation safe and learning in the classroom.